Hello everyone, in this video I am making the update regarding the astrology of the month of August. So I'm going to share with you my screen and I'm going to show you the first of two eclipses that are going to be happening this month. The first happens on the 12th of August. But before we start delving deeper into it, I want to tell you a little bit about the month, astrologically speaking. So, as you can see here, the sun is going to be in the sign of Leo. Of course, the sun entered the sign of Leo last month in July, and it's going to be there until the 23rd of August, in which it enters into the sign of Virgo. And during the first week, the Sun is still going to have an active conjunction with Jupiter. So the first week, particularly, and all through until the 23rd of August, it's a very Leo month, a Leo period of time, especially what with the south node of the moon also in Leo and Jupiter also in Leo expanding everything. So it's a month of being courageous, of being vulnerable, of focusing on our pleasure, on our creativity, on our offspring, on play, on romance, on being center stage and being warm-hearted. It's a period of time in which all these topics are being amplified. Let's remember that Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is in a natural trine to Leo. So even though currently there are no major planets transiting the sign of Sagittarius, with Jupiter in Leo, it feels very comfortable. It's a very fiery month, especially also because both Saturn and Neptune are also there in Leo. As you can see, in the beginning of the month, the first half of the month, actually, Mercury is going to be doing a trine with Neptune. So it's a period of time in which there's a lot of fire. It's kind of a new beginning in which we need to be creative, we need to be courageous, we need to find creative solutions to the issues that are coming into the surface, especially because let's remember that the south node of the moon indicates something that it's coming to a head. It's something that it's ending. It's something that we need to transmute so that we're able to open the new door, so to speak, that it's indicated by the north node of the moon in the sign of Aquarius. Of course, in my previous video on the month of July, which you can still check on my YouTube channel, I spoke a little bit about this change that we are going to be having for 1 year and a half, the south node of the moon in Leo and the north node of the moon in Aquarius. So it's still good to remember that we have transited out of a period of time in 1 year and a half in which the south node of the moon was in Virgo and the north node of the moon was in Pisces. So hopefully we were able to clear aspects of the victim, rescuer, persecutor triangle of which Zingdat in his The Ascension Papers book, free as an ebook on his zingdat.com webpage, speaks a lot about it. Also, Magenta Pixie on Masters of the Matrix, her first book from the White Wing Collective Consciousness of Nine, as well as in her amazing YouTube channel. And you can work at dissolving this triangle, also doing the full Mastering Alchemy online course at masteringalchemy.com, a course designed by the Teachers of Light and taught by Jim Self and the Teachers of Light, the group of archangels, ascended masters, and lords of light. I really, really recommend that you do, because now, hopefully, we have already stepped more into our power, into our sovereignty, and now it's a time to bring that to the fore, because it's a period of time in which this is going to be really, really, really useful. In fact, if you have the sun, the Pluto in the sign of Leo, meaning the baby boomer generation, those born after Second World War II, let's say those born between 1945 and 1960. I'm not giving you the exact dates, actually, but around that period of time, this next year and a half, it's going to be one of the most transformative years of your life, because probably it's the last time that the south node of the moon is going to be transiting and conjuncting your natal Pluto, because the next time this is going to happen is going to be 18 years from now. So probably it's one of the it's either the last or the second to last time this is happening, and you're still strong and you're still able to contribute. You are here for this period of time because let's remember that the mission of those that have Pluto in Leo, those born around 1945 and 1960, is to develop the Aquarian themes. So you bring leadership, you bring courage, you bring a healthy dose of being egocentric or focusing on yourself. Or you are a natural leader, you are creative, you like to be center stage, you are comfortable with it. But the mission for you in this lifetime is to embrace the Aquarian themes regarding community, regarding inclusion, inclusivity of everyone. We are in one planet, we are one humanity. So let's embrace all values. Let's see all different perspectives. Let's take a time for being alone, for letting yourself be different than others, from letting others be different than yourself, and embracing what's also best for everyone involved, like setting the intention, what's for my highest and best good, and the highest and best good of the all that is, because we are all one ultimately. So this year and a half, it's going to be very dynamic. And if you want to understand exactly which period of time in this year and a half is going to be more powerful for you, you can schedule an astrology reading with me so that you know when the sun of the moon is going to be conjuncting exactly your natal Pluto, and it's a very, very transformative period of time because being the sun of the moon that is going to be conjuncting your natal Pluto on, or is probably already conjuncting it, it's something that it's bringing to the fore Plutonic topics such as the shadow and everything that has to do with the underworld. Let's remember that in Jeffrey Baldwin evolutionary astrology paradigm, Pluto represents the soul. So this is a period of time in which any shadow that is still inside your soul is coming to the surface to be liberated, to be illuminated. And this is happening especially in this period of time in which we have a new beginning with a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Leo. However, let me keep talking a little bit about the astrology of the month, and let's mention that Mercury is beginning the month still in the sign of Cancer, and on the 7th of August is going to be fully clearing its post-shadow phase. Mercury was in a retrograde last month since the 30th of June until the 24th of July, but until the 7th of August, Mercury fully clears its post-shadow phase, meaning it returns back to the same exact degree where it was when it started its retrograde phase on the 30th of June. This means that after the 7th of August is the best period of time to make choices, to take action, and the energy is pointing for you to that. Go for it. All through the 30th of June until the 24th of July, it was a period of redo, rethink, redefine. So last month was that period of reflection. So after the 24th of July, but even more after starting with the 7th of August, now it's completely moving forward energy. With the decisions that you made, the plans that you make, the decisions that you now want to put into action, it is now time for you to do it. Especially, Mercury is going to be entering, as you can see, Leo this month. And after last month being in retrograde in the sign of Cancer, which is a sign that it's about water, about the craft, we kind of go inside because we are vulnerable inside. So it was a period of time of introspection. Now it's a time to move forward. Our mind is thinking about conquering what needs to be conquered in our lives, to be warm-hearted, to put fire into our lives. So it's important that you do. As you can see, Mercury, I think I mentioned, it's in a trine with Neptune, which is kind of indicating again that this is a period of time to initiating something new. Let's remember that Neptune is how we achieve unity consciousness, and Mercury represents, among other things, the mind. So our mind needs to be focused in how do we achieve unity consciousness in this new beginning phase for humanity after 2012, especially now that Neptune is entering, it has entered into the sign of Aries. It has a period of an orbit around the sun of more than 150 years. I don't remember the exact number right now, but it's more than 150 years. So this is one in a lifetime transit. So this aspect of Mercury trining Neptune is something really, really, really powerful that you want to take into account. It's something that it's being highlighted too because in this new moon, solar eclipse, the planet of Venus is going to be in an opposition with Neptune. So Venus is pointing to our inner needs. So it's a period of time that it's indicating, and it's going to be all the month there. In fact, the first week of August, still we are going to be in the um, square between Mercury and sorry, the square between Venus and the sign of Mars. Mars still in the sign of Gemini and Venus in the sign of Virgo. They made an exact square on the 29th of July. And this square is still going to be active until the 6th of August when Venus is going to enter the sign of Libra, and Mars is going to enter the sign of Cancer on the 11th of August. So it's a big shift in energy, but the first week of August, this square is still going to be active. So the first week of August, we have still this conflicting energy because our inner needs are about being self-critical, about purification, about focusing on what is lacking, about improving ourselves, maybe wanting to improve the world, seeing what it's lacking, feeling like a prince, like a princess, in that kind of receptive energy, feeling that we want to receive, that we deserve. Uh, Meanwhile, Mars still until the 11th of August on Gemini, it's pulling us along with Uranus in its 7-year transit, more or less in the sign of Gemini too. It's pulling us into curiosity, into wanting to explore things, into wanting to be experimenting, to experience all and everything, into explore our multifaceted being, in thinking outside of the box, in being curious and wanting more and wanting to explore and wanting to learn and wanting to communicate. So it's more like a putting out and going into the world energy. Instead, Venus in Virgo is like being the princess and or the prince and more being in a fantasy and more like about purification, but this tension is going to be present for the first week of the month of August. And when on the 6th of August, Venus enters Libra, it's a period of time and it's going to be active during the new moon solar eclipse on the 12th of August. It's about focusing on being diplomatic, on beauty, on focusing on being taking into perspective other opinions. It's going to be a period of time of being caring about others, of nurturing our relationships, especially our one-to-one relationships. And in fact, this is going to be in a positive trine with Uranus in Gemini. So it's a period of time in which we may want to explore making new friends. We might meet new people in this period of time. We may want to do different things with our close friends, our partner, our one-to-one relationships, because it's a period of time in which Uranus is bringing something different. It's kind of the maverick energy. It's kind of exploring something of the other. It's kind of the dark side of the moon, kind of the other aspects of yourself. So it's a good day of breaking the routine. So it's this new moon solar eclipse. It's a period of time of setting intentions that have to do with doing something different in your friendships, close friendships, one-on-one relationships, in your partnerships with your boyfriend, girlfriend, even with your spouse. it's a period of time of bringing something new, of bringing curiosity, exploration energy. And the 11th of August, when Mars is entering the sign of Cancer, it's also the desire to connecting with our vulnerability, with our family, with the mother energy, with the divine feminine energy. So this month, it's a month that it's a great period of time to read the Sophia Code by Kaya Ra, doing the initiations of the Sophia Code with 8 divine feminine Christ ascended masters, Hathor, Isis, Wintara, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, White Buffalo Woman, Kuan Yin, and the Sophia dragons, which are part of the angelic order of the Ophimin, so that you activate the dragon light body, so that you embrace your sovereignty. It's a very important period of time for you to do so. The solar eclipse is going to be in a trine with Saturn, so it's about letting yourself restructure your life as to bring a new beginning to your life. At the same time, it's about you being vulnerable and you being courageous to break outside previous structures, especially because Saturn is in a retrograde mode. So if there are structures in your life that you need to burn into the fire so that you bring new into your life, it's a period of time for you to do so, especially because the South Node in Leo brings things to a head. So there's a sense of it's a new beginning of something that it's ending because it's a South Node solar eclipse. So this is kind of aspects that have to do with this energy in this period of time. So something else that it's happening is that Jupiter itself is in a sextile to um, it's in a sextile to Uranus in Gemini during this eclipse, as we can see. So again, this is bringing kind of this opportunity to uh, engage in this wind that is brought by Gemini, that it's bringing and increasing the fire of Jupiter, of being courageous, of being there to explore. Let's remember that Leo, it's a fixed energy, and Gemini, it's a mutable energy. And Uranus, as the ruler of the North Node, the ruler of Aquarius, where Pluto is transiting, and of course, it's still in a trine to Pluto. It's bringing kind of this new air into the fire fixed energy of Leo. So it's bringing something of a change in the fixed energy of Leo. It's a period of time in which we need to bring things outside of the box. Uh, Both Pluto and Pluto in opposition to Leo and Uranus in a sextile to Leo are bringing a lot of air energy. And let's remember that the north node of the moon is indicating where we want to go. And the ruler of the node, which is currently in Gemini, is uh, pushing this wind along with the trine that is happening, of course, with Venus and in this grand trine between Venus in Libra, Pluto in Aquarius, and Uranus in the sign of Gemini, is bringing a lot of air of change into the fixed fire of Leo. So it's a new beginning that is bringing to a head the fixed energy of Leo and bringing the new air of wind, I would say, of Aquarius. So it's a lot of winds of change that are making stronger the fire of Leo. Now, since the this day, since the 12th of August until the 31st of August, Jupiter is going to be in a trine to Saturn in Aries, and in fact, this is going to be exact on the 31st of August at 13 degrees Jupiter in Leo, and 13 degrees Saturn retrograde in the sign of Aries. So it's a period of time to again break the other structures that are not usable anymore, as well as to take hold of the structures that you have been building in this period of time since Saturn entered the sign of Aries and bringing into your life. If you are old enough to have had a previous transit of Saturn in Aries, think about this period of time and what you have constructed in the last 30 years of your life. And now that it's being expanded. So it's a period of time of both burn all the structures that don't serve you anymore and make use of the structures that you have already created that bring a lot of fire, that bring a new beginning, a whole new chapter into your life because both Saturn and Neptune are in the sign of Aries, which is a new beginning. Saturn has an orbit of around 29 years. And as I said, Neptune is more than 150 years. So it's a lot of new beginning energy. Chiron is going to go into retrograde motion on the 3rd of August. So it's bringing more introspective energy to this period of time, around 3 months that it was in the sign of that it's in the sign of Taurus. So it's something that is shifting the energy. As you can see on the day of the solar eclipse, it's going to be into a sextile with Mars. So it's a period of time in which our security related to the connection to the mother energy, to the feminine side of ourselves, to our nurturing, to our material security is coming into the surface. So it's a period of time of being vulnerable, of being courageous, and of trusting spirit, which hopefully it's something that we bring a lot of energy after 1 year and a half of the non-node of the moon in the sign of Pisces, as a sign about psychic energy, about dreams, about spirituality. Hopefully, we have a deeper connection to the divine energy, to unity consciousness. And we did it with Neptune in the sign of Aries, bringing a new beginning to how we reach unity consciousness. Hopefully, we are ascending in the spiral of our personal evolution, our spiritual evolution back to the source of the all that is. And the sextile between Uranus and Neptune is still active, and especially the sextile between Neptune and Pluto is getting tighter as the month goes by. Yes. So here we have the second eclipse, which in this case is a full moon lunar eclipse. It is going to be very dynamic too. Of course, full moon lunar eclipses bring something to a head. It's about more about endings, and this is a north node of the moon, which is interesting. So it's an out of sign, out of mundo, as they used to say in astrology, something that I learned from Jeffrey Goldwyn, because they are in different signs. However, it's conjunct with the north node of the moon in Aquarius, the moon at 4 degrees in the sign of Pisces, opposite the sun, that it's conjunct Mercury, also opposite to the full moon. So it's a period of time in which something is coming to a head. So hopefully what it's coming to a head is the remnants that we still have of the victim, rescuer, persecutor triangle in our lives. And now that remnants needs to be purified because this is in a semi-sextile tight energy with Neptune, which is bringing a new beginning of fire in the sign of Aries, and it's also bringing kind of things to a head because the south node of the moon, of course, it's in the sign of Leo. It's in a square to Uranus that is in the sign of Gemini, and it's something that it's bringing this tight energy again because Gemini wants to explore many things, and the moon is our security and is our spirituality. So we need to bring into an equilibrium this need to explore all and everything and break structures with our spiritual values that need to point us towards home, towards our core, towards what Abraham Hicks calls our inner being, what many spiritual traditions call our higher self, including the pathwork by Eva Pierrakos and core energetics, which is a psychotherapy modality that I really recommend, founded by John Pierrakos. It's in a sextile to Chiron retrograde in Taurus. So it's also bringing aspects that is shining a light into our material security, into our security regarding our bodies, our own values, our physicality, our connection with the earth, our intuition. And it's in this opposition with the sign of Mercury. So let's be patient with ourselves. It's going to be an intense eclipse, a very intense month. Something is shining a light in your life on this day, on the 27th of August, during this full moon lunar eclipse. So see exactly where in your chart 4 degrees of Pisces fall so that you can know exactly what is coming into ahead in your life. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are interested in understanding how these eclipses affect you personally. Feel free to schedule an astrology reading with me. You can reach out to me through my email, daniel.cortez with s9 as in number at protonmail.com. You can reach out to me through direct message through my Instagram account, Daniel Cortez Energy, or you can follow me and write me a message too through Facebook Messenger. My Facebook is facebook.com/Josue, Josue dot Cortez with S dot 98 as a number. And you can follow me there too. And I will be happy to schedule a reading, astrology reading with you. My readings are 2 hours. I do it through Zoom. I give you the recording, and I take your questions. I use the Jeffrey Walgreen astrology evolutionary astrology pattern as the base, but I also have learned from many other astrologers and books, and I will be more than happy to work with you. Please subscribe. Many blessings.